Welcome to Monday Night Live number 30, our special gold panning edition. Hello all. We've got a stack of people here tonight, which is very, very exciting. I see the dark side's in the house, and I see Ricky's down the Golden Triangle tonight. I'm seeing lots of pictures coming out of Victoria with the lots of little nuggets with SDCs, and some of the VLF machines are finding a lot of machines. So very, very exciting there. Who else have we got here? Ricky's here, Clyde's here. G'day Clyde. Clyde, we're going to cover that halo effect that you've been asking about for weeks. You've been very patient, mate. I may not know a whole lot, so if you know a bit more than me, chime in. So that'll be good. Kyla's here. G'day Kyla. Amber's here, yeah, Drew, Scott, and everyone's here. Anyway, the stacks of people here. So tonight we're going to do a gold panning demonstration. So we're going to do a dry pan. We're going to, because a lot of people ask about dry panning, and it's pretty much the same. I've got a wet pan there, and then tonight's show, I've got a pan here that I'll show you a bit later on. That is, I've actually washed the gravel so that it won't muddy the water up, so we can actually see what's going on with the pan. But tonight's show is sponsored by a new group. I actually should have loaded a new company. I haven't heard of these guys before, so this is I should have loaded a thing up. Golden Spur Mining. They're just new around the place, and what this is concentrated pay dirt. So they do it in a stack of different sizes. There's an extra small at $8. There's a $24 one. There's a $70 one. There's a $129 one, and then there's this big Hua here at $270. So they're just new out, so some pay dirt. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to break down, that's obviously the green gold pan that doesn't like the background, but we're going to break down a $25 set, and I think I've got a $70 one there. We'll break down and have a look what's in them. So that's all very exciting. So hopefully we should, I reckon we're a good chance of finding gold tonight. So I also have two nuggets here, two little nuggets. They're 0.3 and 0.2. They're tiny little, they're not real big. We're going to put that in the dry pan when I pan it off dry, and we'll see how good I am, I suppose. So yes, so it's all very interesting. So tonight, I suppose tonight's picture up above there, it's from David and Nadia. They're long time listeners. So that's a picture they took one morning out at Warwick, out at the Fosking area, out at Warwick at Glendon's. So cracking photo, first thing in the morning. And what's actually quite interesting is that colour is actually not this photo, but a very similar photo is where I got the colour for the Gold Diggers logo. So I actually pulled that colour out of the photo. So yeah, just a funny little aside there. So right, so lots and lots of people on here. Yes. Amber makes a very good point. I am on the back of the Gold Gem and Treasure. Yeah, Warwick from NQ Explorers took that photo of me out there, so it's my serious look, my serious Let's Go Prospecting look. So yes, so thanks for mentioning that, Amber. Okay, so right. So these, let's just be really clear about these gold bags. there is not going to be, like that's a $25 bag, right? And we're going to pan that bag off shortly. I've got it all set up there. There's not going to be $25 worth of gold in that. I can guarantee that. So in talking to the guys, what they do is they actually get their concentrates and they add gold to their concentrates. So theoretically there could be more than $25 worth of gold in it, but this is not the way to make money. What it is good for though is you want to practice panning at home. That's a fantastic way to do it. These little packs of gold dirt, pay dirt. So just bear that in mind. No one's going to. The only people making a buck off that stuff is the Golden Spur mining. So, but it is a heap of fun, and we will see how we go. So to start with, though, Clyde has been very, very patient in asking about the halo effect. Now, we'll just cover that really quickly. Now, a halo effect is when you're detecting. So what it basically means is if you've got a gold nugget sitting in the ground, let's say it's that big, and a halo effect works with can work with a lot of different things. So let's say you've got a bit of iron sitting in the ground that big, and it's very, very similar to what gold does on a smaller scale. If you've got a bit of iron that big, that iron sitting in the ground is going to break down over the years, and all of that rust will stain the soil all the way around it. It's exactly the same effect that a gold nugget will have. So a gold nugget doesn't break down in the ground. Well, it breaks down physically, but it doesn't chemically break down. It doesn't oxidize, it doesn't rust, it doesn't do any of that sort of thing. But a gold nugget isn't made up 100% of gold. There's copper and silver and all that sort of stuff in it. So that will oxidize into the soil and create a halo around the target. Now, what that does for me is there's two things that happens. You've got that halo sitting around, so when you break into that halo around the target, it breaks down and goes away, right? So what was once a big loud target, right, is now actually quite a small target. It could be a tiny little target like one of these little nuggets here, 0.2 or 3, right? But it's broken down and you think, oh, that target's gone away. The golden rule that I think with these targets and the halos is, or if you're getting a repeatable signal in both directions, I don't care whether it's a huge signal or a small signal, as long as you're ground balanced, right, you've got to keep digging it, because there's plenty of targets that have been thought of, oh no, that's disappeared, the target's disappeared, it's nowhere near as loud, that there's plenty of those left in the ground for the next person to come along who hears that little bump in the threshold. So that's my understanding. So yes, so Clive goes into a bit more detail there. But yes. So Clive goes into much more detail with it than me. I sort of try and dumb things down a little bit because that's sort of how it's how I operate. So, so see Clyde's comment there in the description, or my ramblings for the last 2 minutes. So yes. Right, so here's my, okay, I did, this is a little outfit that we've played with here. This is just a 20 litre bucket. It's got one of these little gold rat sluices in it. I just wanted to show this because Steve, who watches the show, was talking about these sluices. These are the sluices that, this is a sluice that Warren uses. Warren's just put out a new video on sluicing in New Zealand. And he uses one of those sluices, and with great effect over there. So that was the sluice I'm thinking about. But if you go to NQ Explorers YouTube channel, they've got a fantastic video that's only come out this afternoon, sluicing and panning in in New Zealand. It is a quality video. It's one of the best ones I reckon he's done. So if you haven't subscribed, we're a bit of a push too to get Warren to 10,000 subscribers. So we'll so if you haven't subscribed to Warren, please do. So okay, yeah, Gold Rat, they make some great sluices and what have you. So right, so let's get on to this. Let's get this gold panning demonstration going. So let me just, here's the aerial view of what's happening. So we've got a, so here I am here. So basically I've got a pan full of wash here. It's not, there won't be any gold in this. The most important thing when you're panning is I like to sieve stuff down to a 10mm mesh, only because I use a Garrett Gold Pan kit, so it comes with that mesh in it, and that's what this is here. It's basically a, it's basically sieved down to a 10mm. So when you put gravel in a pan, what it'll actually do is you've got to break up the dry, you've got to get everything wet, and you've actually got to break up the clay. If there's clay in there, you really need to work the material around to break up the clay. Then, with gold being heavier than, one of the heaviest minerals, all you need to do is actually work it side to side and around, and what will happen is the gold will actually drop into the corner of the pan. It will drop into this corner here. So if you're holding it at an angle, the gold will be sitting in this bottom corner here. So as I work that round and side to side, I'm a bit limited here because I don't want to coat the computer in water. As I'm working that around, all the light stuff's on top. Okay, so when I'm working that and I've got gear falling off the front edge, right, I've got to be careful that I'm not losing gold. So every now and then I will bring it back into the pan, and then I'll go again. And all the gold is sitting in the bottom here, right in here. So I'm no risk of losing any gold, particularly with this super sluice pan. And you can just drop it out the front of the pan like that. And you can take that all the way down. I'm doing this a bit rushed here at the moment, but you can take that all the way down, bringing it back into the pan so you don't lose any gold off the front. Just like that, and then backwards and forwards. And that's all your heavies left in the bottom there. So that's the short version. So what we'll do is we might just go straight into doing one of these pay dirt bags. This is a $24.99 pay dirt bag. I haven't even opened this one. So let's just tear this fella open here. Geez, the bags are hard to tear open. I haven't even got a knife out here with me. There we go. Nothing that the teeth won't do. So let's have a look here. So, right, so let me just rinse this bag out here because I want to get all of it in the pan. Geez, a nice rich colour. So there's still a bit more in there, but let me just get some of this water off here. So there's very little dirt in here for a $25 pan full of dirt, but $25. But it's not about how much dirt, it's about how much gold's in it. So we'll leave that there. So again, because I don't know this is dry, I've got to break it all up. Okay, I've got to make sure the material's all wet, and it is. So I like to go side by side to bring it back down. I do a lot of my panning side by side, and then just let it roll off the front like that. And then get it wet, drop it back in, and then straight off the front like that. What you can do with these pans, particularly that super sluice pan, is you can actually, if you're working a lot of material and you've got it, and you're just starting out, you get all the material wet, and you can actually just with the back of your hand, just swipe it off the top, and you can push a lot of material off like that. I'll show you when we're dry panning that. So here we go, we're getting down here, not much dirt here. So every now and then I'm getting the pan wet, I'm bringing the pan back, I'm bringing all the material back into the pan and off the edge again, and we just run a bit of water to let the light stuff go. I don't know, can someone see a nugget, Baz? I don't think there's well, there might be a nugget in it. So let's have a look here. We'll just, we've probably got that down fine enough here. We'll just for the, I mean, I'll probably, oh yeah, there's gold in that. Can anyone see that there? There's a lot of, there looks like a lot of gold in that. So that's the $25 pan. So you can see, and I haven't, there's actually all gold through down the bottom here as well. I haven't really done a great job on splitting that off, but there's a, you know, for a $25 pan, that's not $25 worth of gold, but for a $25 bag, that's not too bad at all. So yeah, so that's not bad at all. So right, so let me just bring the screen back here. Hello, here we go. So, so there you go. There's a $25 bag. So that's awesome. So nice flour gold in it. So I think that's, like, there's not $25 worth of gold in it, right? I'll guarantee that. But I tell you what, for something you can take home and do a bit of, you can't see that, but yeah, for something you can take home and have a crack at, I think that's phenomenal. Now, we got a few people here. That's good. So I've got to admit to you, I advertised, well, I didn't really advertise. I put up that tonight, I've wet my phone here, so doing my gold panning. I put up tonight there's no prize. I lied to you, right? Because I wanted to get rid of the people that were just here looking for a prize. When I looked at the research on who was viewing, there was a lot of people viewing from a website that just tells you where to go to get prizes. So I wanted to put them off. So tonight's prizes, I've got half a dozen bags. These are only the $7 to $8 bags, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bags of this stuff. These are little $8 bags. So I've got these, and I'll send these off to 6 people tonight. Yeah, so I'm going to send them off. So there is a prize tonight. So thank you everyone for coming along. Okay, so that's quality. So I'm really happy with that. I also get a lot of questions about how to use a snuffer bottle, right? What we might do is, while we've got that bit of gold sat in the pan there, and before the water gets too dirty, we might just switch across there, and I might just clean that bit of gold up that's in there, or a bit of that gold up, just to show people how to use a snuffer bottle. You can see that gold with it just floating in the top there. So that's really, really awesome. So a snuffer bottle, for those that don't know, I'll just undo the top here. It's got a long thing on it. Some have got them shorter, doesn't really matter, they do the same job. Basically, what it does is you actually can squeeze that bottle and it sucks up water. Okay? Now, the water is actually ending up in the bottom here, so when you're squeezing that, you can't squeeze it out. So that's the idea with working a snuffer bottle in a gold pan. So here we go here. they're best to have an angle cut on the, if you buy one yourself, you're best to have an angle cut on, I don't know whether you can see that, best to have an angle cut on the nozzle so you can actually get that flat down against the pan. But see, we'll just, I've mucked this up here, I've put all the sand in amongst the gold, but nothing new there for me. So what I do is I squeeze the bottle, put it against the gold and just let the bottle go, and it just sucks that gold up. So you can see there's dramatically less gold in that now, and because the gold's in that water, I can squeeze that, hold it upside down, squeeze it, and suck it up again. Simple as that. And you can just keep doing that and you can hold that bottle upside down and squeeze it because all the gold is sitting in the bottom of this. It's sitting right down the bottom here, and no matter how hard you squeeze that, you can't lose that. So that's the short version of how to use a snuffer bottle. Like, you can squeeze that as hard as you like, and you're not going to lose that gold. It's sitting in the bottom of the snuffer bottle here. So, right, so that's that. We'll put this gold back in here. So I might actually take a photo of that now I'm thinking about it. Right, so that's all that gold out of there. I'll put the snuffer bottle down. So we'll just put that there, get that out of the road. Okay, so we may as well, that's that next bag we're going to do. That's a $70 bag, that. So I have been told that these vary, the bags. So yes, so that's basically how it is. Yeah, sometimes the gold will stick in these snuffer bottles, and sometimes, like, this gold is very, very fine. I don't know whether you saw that in that other pan. It's very, very fine. So sometimes the gold can actually float. Yeah, so it can float and cause all sorts of problems, sort of thing. So, okay, so this is a $70 bag. We'll see what's in here. So this is a gold trap. I'm using different pans this time, each time. This is a gold trap pan. I've just got this is the Garrett, this is my gold pan kit, the Garrett gold pan kit. So yeah, I've just pulled it out of the ute for this thing. But this is what you get with it. You get a snuffer bottle, and you get the little, what else do you get? Little tweezers and a micro, you know, the tweezers are useless, but you get a little tweezers and magnifying glass, which is equally useless. But anyway, that's what you get. So let's do this $70 bag. So tonight, what I'm doing is making sure there's no clay in that, breaking it down in case there is a bit of clay in there, and running that just off the front edge. You can see that the light stuff's running off the front edge there. And you can be, with these Garrett pans with the 90% riffles, I mean, there's stacks of other pans. Don't think that the Garretts are the only pans to get, but I do think they're the best pans going around. That you got 90 degree riffles, right, to the angle that you're panning. So it's very hard to drop any gold out of them. So we'll just let that run off the front there. It's pretty hard to see. The water's starting to get a bit murky. We'll bring that back in. When you want to get efficient at it, so once you've done that and shaken the gold down the bottom, you don't have to do that for 10 minutes. You don't have to keep sitting there shaking like that, because that gold, being so heavy, it drops straight out. So when you want to be efficient and you're doing a lot of panning, you want to just sort of rationalise your movements a lot, so so you're not tiring yourself out. And once it's down in the bottom there, you know, you can just do whatever you like with it. So, right, so we're getting down here now. I won't fiddle with it for a long time, but I'll see if there's a, oh yeah, I can see that. Look, you can see the gold. Or how do I get it here? You can see the gold coming out of the sand at the top here. If I can, maybe, look at that gold. We'll just get that, look at that rock holding it. So, like that's a pretty decent pan of gold, that. Like, I mean, I've done a terrible job here. There's all gold through here. Let me see if I can clean this up a little bit more. So, get it all in the bottom here. And then we'll just do this swirl. And we'll see if we can, probably being a bit savage here because I want to get it, I want to get it all to show you. But there you go. There's a good run of gold. There's more gold through here too. So there you go. That's and there's some decent, almost pickers, almost little nuggets in that lot. Don't know whether you can see, like that fella there is just about a picker. You just about hear that with a pro pointer. So yeah, so you know, as I said, there's probably not. Well, I know there wouldn't be 70 bucks worth of gold in it, but very, very cool anyway. So yes, so yes. Well, people are saying that's inducing a bit of gold fever. Well, it is. Now you can. So for tonight, not only am I giving these 6 away, right? These are available on our website as well. All these bags are on our website. We'll send them out to you. And basically, what I'm doing is, if you use the promo code at the checkout, DIRT15, right? DIRT15 will get you 15% off that. It will only last until tomorrow afternoon, but DIRT15 gets you 15% off that. So you'll buy a $25 bag for, you know, $21 or $2 sort of thing. So DIRT15, go to golddiggers.com.au. Yes, so that's those. Right, turbo pan questions. There's turbo pan questions. What were the yes, everyone's talking about my tap and swirl technique. It's terrible. I agree with that. Yeah, there is a stack more. In the $70 bag, there's a ton more pay dirt than what there was in the $24 bag. Yes, but that's a fantastic thing, really, for the money, and you can use that over and over and over again. So it's not like you use it once and you've had your fun. You put the gold back into the gravel, and you can keep practicing that. You can keep practicing with the same dirt over and over again. You don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to just, you know, use it up. Just throw it back in the dirt and practice panning with it again. So yeah, it does look like WA dirt. It's real red. So, but there's patches of real red stuff in Queensland as well. So could be 4. So. Yes. So, okay, let's talk about seasoning the pan, right? So, someone just mentioned that. Who was that? Someone said seasoning the pan. I don't know who that was. It's gone now. But anyway, when you buy a new pan, right, it will probably have a whole stack of like chemicals on the surface of it. So you are best to really give it a good wash with a bit of detergent. I like to run a bit of gravel around in it to give it a good scratch up, and then your sort of pan's right to go. You don't want to just use it they use a mold release on these pans, and that mold release can let gold slide out of it. It's real slippery stuff. So So yeah, you're best to season these pans. Metal gold pans are different again. You really need to let them, they are covered in oil to stop them rusting. So when they're covered in oil, you really almost need to put them on the fire. So yeah, so that would be my suggestion with seasoning them. Yeah, and with this stuff here, I haven't seen any tonight. I normally watch out for it, but some of this gold, it's very, very fine, this stuff. You can use detergent with it and it breaks the surface tension so the gold doesn't float. So if you're getting really super fine gold, and this looks super fine, there's a lot of fine gold in that, I would suggest that you use a little bit of detergent in it just to break the surface tension. And everyone's correcting me here whether I should use detergent and a scrubbing brush or steel wool, but that's the same sort of principle as what I was talking about. So yes, dishwashing liquid will fix metal pans, of course it will too. So right, so that's that. Then, right, I've got a couple of little jobs to do. Just want to remind everyone, if anyone's going out to Lightning Ridge on the 25th or the 28th of July, we are looking for a roving reporter to send me some video on it. So if you're up for that task, just let me know. That should be a bit of fun. So, right, who else have we got here? What do you do if the flour gold floats on the surface of the water? Trevor, detergent will stop that. A little bit of detergent in there. So that's normally what you do. Normally, if you break it down, if you break down the, if you sort of tap the water or tap the pan, the gold will fall through. But you do have an issue with gold floating with that super fine stuff. So you do have to be a fraction careful with it, sort of thing. So, right. So, yes, water softener, all sorts of stuff here. So, what we might do now is, now this is going to be a bit tricky and a bit dusty, I suspect. Well, I know it's going to be dusty. So, and I'm going to put this pan I'm going to dry pan this, trying to move stuff out of the road that's not going to get covered in dust. I'm going to dry pan this on the seat, so you'll miss out. You won't see me. Well, you'll see part of me, but you won't see me. So, let me just put this on the chair here. So, this is actually what I might try and do. Yeah, this isn't going to work terribly well here. So what I'm just going to do here is I'm going to turn off that so you can actually see the pan. So we've got the green screen behind us here. So dry panning, okay? Oh, before I dry pan, so I've got here that nugget there is, I'm going to drop a couple of nuggets in here. This nugget here is 0.18, so it's a tiny little piece of gold. Actually, hang on a tick, I haven't pushed the button. There's the green screen. So that's 0.8, so in it goes. And then this one here, 0.18, and this one here is 0.36, in it goes. So there's two pieces of gold in there. So a couple of things with dry panning, okay? Super Sleuth's pan works really, really well. And dry panning, you won't pick up that won't pick up a big proportion of that super fine gold. It only really does, dry panning does that really, the coarser stuff. That's why I've just put nuggets in here rather than that fine stuff. And any clay like that, you won't break like that's a bit of clayey stuff there. You won't break that up. You really need to then either smash it or you know, put it through something to break it up. So that's that stuff there. So dry panning works on exactly the same principle. Gold's heavy, drops to the bottom corner of this pan. So just to and this is a technique that I sort of learned off the my grandfather used to do a thing with the metal pans when he showed me how to do it, but I sort of picked this up with the bucket and a pan from that that crazy dude, that Ask Jeff Williams fella. So anyway, so what you do is you break it down, you break it up, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the heavy stuff to fall to the bottom, light stuff on top. So we just go round and round in circles, and then we put it on the pan here and give it a shake backwards and forwards. And see how that's just those heavy stuff's falling off. So you've got all the light stuff at the bottom here, and the finer, heavier material at the top here. It's a bit bloody dusty, but anyway. And occasionally bring it back into the pan, get the heavy stuff, and let it fall off the front again. Then bring it back. Got bloody dust all over the desk here. So bring it back, let the heavy stuff fall into the back of the pan. So we'll just get it classified again. Away we go. Bring it back. Let's hope there's 2 gold nuggets in here at the end of it. Just off the top there. And geez, can you see through the dust? Anyway, we'll just really take it down, bring it back. We'll just go again, get a little bit more. Right, and we're right down. There's a teaspoon up. We'll bring it back. Geez, I don't know whether I've got 2 gold nuggets here yet, but they might be in my bucket here. There's one. Where's the other one? I might have missed the other one. So that's a rough idea of how to gold pan. I've got to go looking through the bucket here to find the other nugget. So there's a really crappy description of how to use a gold pan. How to use a dry pan. So got one nugget back, but I've got to go looking for another one. So right, so that's yes, I did lose one. I've got one more, but I've got to go back into the bucket to look for it. I was a bit aggressive, so anyway. So that's gold panning, and so. So someone said, yeah, everyone finds it finally amusing, but I know where they are. They're in that pan there somewhere. So, yes, very rough, yep. It's exactly the same, Darren makes a point, exactly the same principle as wet panning. It's exactly the same as wet panning. It's just a matter of, it's exactly the same principle sort of thing. It's just, you're not using water, you're just using gravity. So that's why it doesn't work as well with, that's why it's harder to do than wet panning, because it doesn't sit in the bottom of the pan as well, and it doesn't fall through. So that's why you don't find the fine stuff when you're dry panning, because it just doesn't work, sort of thing. Yeah, so I was under pressure. I was feeling the pressure, you know. So, do you want me to go and get them back? I can pan them out of that bucket. But that's the same principle. Steve says I need a dry blower. So yeah. But yes, okay, good. So someone asked before, so what, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm dying now. I haven't done this before. I'm dying now to know what's in the $270 bag. So we might pan that down. So, yes. Trevor asked a question here about would you use a clean up sluice after panning down? No, I'd probably use panning as a step after the sluice, although you can yeah, depending on how you set up your clean up sluice. Like if your clean up sluice is a clean up sluice is like if you're running a clean up sluice and you've got it set up with some fine V-rib matting and you're trying to separate black sand from gold, like non-magnetic black sand from gold, well, I would think that yes, you do that, but you need a very fine adjustment to do that properly. Righto. People saying here, last of the big spenders. Yeah. So here we go. $270 bag. Let's go over here. So that's the old fella. That's the $70 bag, and we'll have a bit of fun here. Let's hope there's a good amount of gold in it. So, right. Yes, these bags. Someone asked if these bags are resealable. Yeah, they look like a coffee bag. So, yeah. So, right. So, there's a lot more dirt in this one. Like that's 1.5 kilos of dirt. So, obviously, they're a bigger bag. So, yeah. So, but anyway, we've got that. There's a bit more dirt in there. Right. So this is a $270 bag. Geez, I hope there's some gold in it. So yes. So again, breaking up the clay, making sure it's all wet. There's no dry spots in it. That way I can shake it side to side and get some gold. Get the gold to fall to the bottom. And just mix that up again. This dirt looks so red. It's probably WA. They just say they've got a couple of mine sites around the country, so that's where they get the pay dirt from. But yeah, let's hope there's a bit of gold in this one. So we've just got the super sluice pan here. It's probably, these pans with the big riffles in it, these big steep riffles in it, are probably the pans I use the most. The game with gold panning is how much material you can process. So with a pan like this, you can actually get to that stage right there, and you can actually just take the top off it. There'll be no gold in it at all. Like you can just seriously take the top off the pan, and because the gold's sitting right in the bottom there. So you can process a lot of material with this pan. There's no doubt about that. So we're getting down to it now. There's a couple of big bits in there I should pull out. I'll let them work over the edge there. If you've got big stuff that's like this, doesn't look, not classified super fine, but if you've got big pieces in there, this motion here can wash them out without affecting too much of what's going on up in the bottom of the pan here. Anyway, we'll get that worked down a bit, and then right, we're getting that pretty close there now. We'll bring it back into the pan. Oh, look at the gold. Here, let me do a proper swirl here, and we'll get it going. Oh yeah. Let me get some of this big stuff out of the road here. But yeah, there's some good gold in that. Can you see it sitting up the top here? There's a lot of gold in that. Jesus. There's a stack in there. Like big pieces. Look at that. Like that's a big lot of gold in a gold pan. So, yeah, there's a lot of gold in that. Like that'd have to be. Ah, see, I don't know whether you can see that there, but I've got a little bit of gold floating there. Right off the tip of my finger. That's actually gold floating as I just put it up there. If you tap it, it normally drops back down. But yeah, that's a lot of gold in there. So, happy days. Like, no nuggets. But look at that. That's a great bit of... Oh, there's a couple in there that are probably pickers, but anyway, it's super fine, some of this stuff. So, but anyway, that's a good pan full of gold, that. So, but yeah, so there you go. If you wanted to buy them, they're on the website now as we speak. That's a great amount of gold. That's very, very cool. Brian says dollar value. Oh, look, if that's like, that might be 2 grams in there. That might be, you know, 2.5 grams. Yeah, so, but yeah, no, that's a good lump of gold, that. What causes gold to float? It's when gold's so fine. Hang on a tick, I've left you floating in the bucket with me. What causes gold to float is that is the surface tension of the water and the gold's that heavy that light, that the surface tension will actually support it. And maybe it's an oily patch in the water. There's a couple of things like that. We don't know exactly how they were packed into the bags. So, yeah, so there could be a little bit of oil in there. Yeah, so, yeah, if there's 2.5 grams in there, $50 a gram, so there's 120 bucks in there or something like that. But it is more about getting that experience. Where can you go and get a bag of pay dirt? So I sort of get it. And I think, you know, if you want to practice panning, that's the way to do it. So, yeah. So, but you could always go out to your local fossicking area and go and pan some colour for yourself. So, when you work out that the equation, you know, that's good. Right. So, people asked how I dry gold. Okay. So once you've got it in the snuffer bottle, actually, let me just suck up some here, and I'll just give you a, where's my? Hang on, I've just got to turn the screen on here. So I've emptied this out. So I'll just get a little splash of water in here, and I'll just suck up a little bit of this gold. So once I've sucked up that bit of gold there, right, just to give you a bit of an idea. So I've got gold in my snuffer bottle. What I can actually then do is I can quite comfortably, holding it up and shaking it, so the gold is in the bottom of the, hang on, let's do it this way, where you can actually see what I'm doing. That might help. So if you hold the snuffer bottle like that and shake it, you can actually squeeze, geez, this could get a bit dangerous here. You could actually squeeze the water out of it, right? And the gold's sitting in the bottom of the snuffer bottle. No trouble at all, right? So, and you can raise it up to get rid of that water, right? Now, so what you can then actually do is you can actually drop that into, I use a, like an Army Dixie, and the Army Dixie, I've got one of those little gas burner things. I actually put the Army Dixie over the top and keep swirling it round. It's like a little fine saucepan, and I just put it over the heat, keep drying it down, keep drying around. So yeah, so but anyway, that's how I dry it. So yeah, but yes, so yes, I think it's a great business plan selling gold for dirt, with some dirt for 2.5 times. Yep. Yeah, I mean, Daryl, I think some people are going to hate that pay dirt. Like $129 bag of pay dirt, right? It's probably got, like, it might have a gram, so it might have $50 or $60 worth of gold in it. So I'd like, yeah, you're not going to, like, you're going backwards buying it, but it's great fun to actually go and pan it and know, like, there's a lot of gold in that pan for 270 bucks. There's a lot of gold in it. So, you know, like, how much is the enjoyment? You know, yeah, that's how I think about it. But anyway, some people will hate it, some people will love it. It's on the website if you like it. So, you know, and it is the practice. Like, so a lot of people will go out and they'll go out panning. They'll go and buy a pan kit, right? And this is the problem. They'll go out and they'll dig a hole and there'll be nothing in the pan. So the question is, was there nothing in the pan to start with, right? And they've been panning really well, or was there gold there, right? And they've just lost the gold. So they don't know which way it is. So you go and buy a $20 bag of pay dirt, right? And you can use that over and over and over again to practice and practice and practice until you get good at it. Then when you go out to a phosking area which is 6 hours drive away, or you go somewhere that's, you know, you invest a lot of time in, you know you're good at it. So you know that if you're not getting any gold, there's no gold there. So I do see there's an advantage in it for beginners, you know. So, but anyway, it is what it is. So, who's got some suggestions how I can give away these half a dozen bags? Because we've had a non-sharing night tonight, so I've got half a dozen bags here. Yes, so who said that? Matt, it's very hard to lose gold. Matt, I just lost a nugget, so I've got to go back and find the nugget. So, yes, so yeah, I might just, while we're working out a prize, I'll just pan this nugget off here. So let me just, we'll just put it across there. Have I got a pan with nothing in it? I don't. I'll get that later. So, but you have a look at the gold in that pan. Like, I've sucked up a lot of that gold. Let's get a bit more here. And it will stick in the pan. It'll stick in these, you got to be careful, it sticks in these snuffer bottles. It gets all in the snuffer bottles. You're really best to screw them back up, shake them out. But yeah, so let's get that gold back down the bottom here, and then yeah, there is a lot of gold in that pan. There is stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of gold in that pan. It's all through that pan. So anyway, happy days. Right, so, okay, any other questions? Okay, so, yeah, those gold rat sluices, that's very hard to lose gold in. Yeah, that's very, very hard to lose gold in. Those gold rat sluices, well, it's not actually gold rat sluices, it's a green mat that gold rat are phenomenal. I really enjoy those gold rat sluices. So like that. They just seem to hold all the gold. It's really, really simple to use. So those sluices, these are the sluices we're talking about here. These sluices here, the mat in them is just phenomenal. It just holds all the gold, so it's fantastic. So, have we, right, so what we'll do, oh Nathan, I'm not giving a $270 bag away, it's only a $8 bag, so sorry about that, mate. So what I'll do after the show, I'll go through and the best comments, the 6 best comments, the most intriguing comments, I'll send them a bag of pay dirt. How's that sound? So that's probably the easiest way. So yeah. Steve, Steve asked a question here. Actually, let me just put, can I put Steve up on the show? Yeah, I can put Steve up here. Steve asked a question, are you able to show what features, rocks, ground formations, area formations look for when gold along creek and river system? Yeah, we have done, Warren and I did a show about gold. So that's probably a good place to start. We did a Monday Night Live on gold. But then Warren and I have done a 2-part series out in the field on his YouTube channel that would be really, really beneficial because we can actually show you stuff that's going on. Yes, so yep, no problem at all. Johnny Hobo Gold, talk to me about the Lanakuri Gold Bash. We can work something out. Pinpointers, Megan asked about pinpointers. We're going to do that again. I'm not sure where. Kyla, if you've got... Kyla's worried about losing. Where's that comment? I'll push it up here to the screen. Where's it gone? Kyla. Is that pushed it up there? Yeah, here we go. Scared of losing fine gold in the carpet on the sluice. You won't lose it in it. Like, I don't know what carpet you've got in your sluice. In these gold rat sluice, like, you will lose, in any sluice you'll lose a proportion of gold. Particularly fine gold, okay? These seem, I haven't tested it, but these seem dramatically better at holding fine gold than anything else going around. So any of the carpets, the V-rib mats and what have you, this seems phenomenal. I know there's some stuff, there's some really advanced mats coming out of the out of America. They've been designed in America. So, but I'm very, very confident in that mat that it's capturing everything it can. And of course, you know, when you're working your sluice and you're worried about that fine gold, obviously you've got to slow the flow down, or you've got to flatten your sluice out a little bit so it's got an opportunity to sit. But I put a bag of this through this recirculating sluice I've got here in the shop with the gold mat on it. And all that fine stuff's still sitting in the bottom of that sluice, and it's run for hours and hours and hours because it runs a bit here in the shop and we show people. So I'm really confident about those gold rat sluices. Yes, we've talked about doing a show on smelting gold. The smelting of the gold thing. Someone offered to do that, come through and do that, had all the gear, but we're looking for that. What was that one there? Let me just see here. Okay, Grant's got a back problem here, and I've got 3 back feet. Struggle to bend down along. How can you suggest anything? It looks that dry panning may be the go. Not done it before. Grant, dry panning is dusty. It's no easier than wet panning. And my suggestion would be to, if you can get the material and put one of those tubs like I've got here. That tub there was only $4.50 from Bunnings or something like that. Put that on the back of your ute, put 20 litres of water on it, happy days. Or put it on a little table with 20 litres of water in it. That would be my suggestion. You can pan a lot of material. You can pan a lot of material with 20 litres of water, let me tell you, if you don't mind how murky it gets. But yeah, that would be my suggestion, mate. So can you order to size that mat you have of a small sluice? Kyla, let me, it comes in 6-inch, we're talking width here, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch, and one length, which I'd have to check. So the 6-inch is a shorter length than the rest of the same length, but yeah, you can order it to size, and if it's wider than that, you can put two mats together. You can put a 6 and a 6-inch mat, and you can put an 8-inch and a 10-inch together. All sorts of things you can do. Yeah. Right. Let me have a look here. The bags are definitely a great idea. Thanks, Stephen. I think they are too. Yeah, I think they're a good idea, those things. So, yes, I really do. Right, guys, well, we're getting us... Nicole here, send us a bag of your dirt. They're going to send a bag of mine. I'm not sure yours will have gold in it, Nicole. So that's a bit of a worry. So, right, okay. So we're just about the end of the show here. So I'm going to go through at the end of this show, and I'm going to find 6 or maybe 8 people that we'll send this out to after the show. Yeah, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Don't forget that the pay dirt is available with that code DIRT15, right, for until tomorrow night, and DIRT15, and you get 15% off the price, so it's a good discount to start them off. So yeah, so thank you very much for everyone coming along, and we'll see you next week. I haven't worked out what I'm doing next week. So we've got a bit of a oh, there's the Young Guns. G'day, Damo. Yeah, I've got a list of stuff here to do, pro pointers and snake bites and you know, old detectors, and you know, there's all sorts of stuff we can do, but I'll have to sit down and work something out in the next couple of days, and I will post up a link so you can all join me or not join me. Okay guys, thanks very much. Have a great evening. Good night.